I don't think it's hyper. I think Jaden Daniels is magic, folks. I think we're looking at a kid, highest passer rating by any of the 4 quarterbacks, and that's with an average O-line and 1 weapon. Tied for the most wins by a rookie quarterback in the season, including the playoffs. His 4th quarter numbers don't even make sense. They don't even make sense. Number 5, Zach.
Okay. So I wanted to isolate this because it's so interesting for Colin to kind of, heap that praise, of course, and then still put Jaden Daniels as 4. And I just don't get it. I still don't get it. Even when we praise Jaden Daniels, say that he's magic, that he's elite, that he's special, that he's doing all this type of stuff, you still have him ranked 4th in, Colin's top 10 players in the NFC Championship game. Now, to be clear, my lot is Beast and Jalen Carter and Saquon Barkley and all of that. But I mean, I don't know. Let's say we just played along with Colin's mentality that Jalen Hurts, because he said that Jalen Hurts is like banged up. And he's like, a banged up Jalen Hurts is not top 10 in this. So let's just go along with that. Jalen Carter is absolutely a beast, and he is a massive reason why the Eagles beat the Rams and all of that. And again, Mailata, O-line, that's who number 2 is for you Commanders fans who don't know. He's on the O-line. And it's just hard for me to imagine that at the very least you don't put Jaden Daniels at 2. I can understand putting Saquon Barkley at number 1 because of everything that he's done this year. He would have broken the rushing record, but he just sat out. How much of a monster he's been in the playoffs, and it's a little bit different because when you're a running back, of course you need the O-line, but it seems like it's hard. It's hard when you're comparing a running back to a wide, to a quarterback, to a wide receiver, to a lineman. Like it's hard. That's why the MVP for these players, like, of course, quarterbacks always get the golden ticket, and position players, do not. And that's why you can't say, oh, well, if we take Saquon Barkley off the team versus Jaden Daniels off the team, like what team would be worse? And it's like, well, you're taking away the quarterback, of course. And it was like, oh, what if we do this draft again? And it's like, well, again, a quarterback is really important. So that's why, like, this list as a whole is already flawed and difficult. But I just don't think you're going to watch this game. That's why I try to, like, not think about, like, who's more valuable to their team, who, like, again, I try to just be like, if I'm watching this game and it's just really kind of just, like, super casual, just leaning back and watching it, and it's like, who are you like, whoa, that guy's special. Whoa, that guy's a big deal. Like, Jaden Daniels is going to be up there. That's why I think it's going to be Jayden and Saquon. You're going to be like, whoa, especially if Saquon rips off a whole bunch of runs. But, like, Jaden Daniels is going to have the ball more in his hands, obviously, being the quarterback. So there'll be more opportunities for this moment. And it's not always easy to see how much of an impact a Jalen Carter, a Mailata, a Lane Johnson, et cetera, et cetera. That's so... But I just still can't help but feel like we're undervaluing what Jaden Daniels brings. Again, imagine if that was Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Could you see could you see Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen being number 4? Or Lamar Jackson being number 4? No. And Jaden Daniels, at a minimum, has been on par with those quarterbacks. So then why is he not elevated then? That's what I'm getting at. There's still this true undervalue of what Jaden Daniels can do and what he's done and what he's doing and his talent, his abilities. Like it's still, it's like you just don't get it. And it's I don't know what it's going to take, honestly. I really don't. And again, I get that to some degree, and these aren't like hard lists for Colin, this isn't like kind of like Nick's tiers and all those types of rankings. this is definitely more from coming from like a more like kind of like, hey, you know, let's make a list. And I forgot that this is what he does. I remember now that this is what he does for certain games. But again, I know we've seen Jalen Carter play longer and Mailata and Saquon and stuff like that. And so these guys have more, you know, they have a longer established career and all of that. But I don't know. I just don't think you're going to watch that game on Sunday and say that Jaden Daniels was the 4th best player. I just don't think you're going to say that. Even if Mailata has a great game and Jaden Daniels and Jalen Carter and Saquon, like I just don't think you're going to come away from the game thinking that. And again, it's why it is hard to mix some of these, like especially some of these defensive players, linemen, like you only really see them shine on a broadcast in like important key big moments. Other than that, it's like you just don't really see it. The broadcast has to really highlight it and kind of emphasize and magnify individual moments. But it's interesting because again, Jalen Hurts isn't even on there. Jalen Hurts, and I don't know if he was just kind of using the whole injury as a way to kind of be like, oh, well, Jalen Hurts isn't on there because he's kind of banged up, and if Jalen Hurts was healthy, would he still put him up there? My guess is probably not. So again, you have Jaden Daniels, who's number 4 on this list, and Jalen Hurts isn't even on there at all. I don't even know if he would put Jalen Hurts as 11. Because again, it's just like now and it's interesting too because it's top players or most important players. Because it's like, you know, there's a lot of important players for both of these teams that are missing. Zach Ertz, Devontae Smith, De'Ami Brown. Like, it's like, you know, Eckler. Like, I don't know. I was at one point I was like, you know, this list is interesting, but you know, whatever. And the next point I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I'll make a video about this. But I guess the 2 biggest things that stood out to me were obviously Jalen Hurts not being there, as well as Jalen Hurts 4. It's just interesting to me to put Jalen Hurts or Jaden Daniels. This is gonna be tough, man. Jalen Carter, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts. Like it's just Jaden Carter. Like it's too many. Jaden Daniels. It's just I don't know. Seeing Jaden Daniels at 4, it just like I don't know. It just feels weird to me. And if it feels weird to me, then I'm like, well, then it's probably not right. Then it doesn't feel right to me. And that's why I keep trying to explain it where I'm just like, well, it's hard to really evaluate the impact of someone like Jalen Carter and Mailata. And I'm like, I get it. And Saquon's been balling, like, but it just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just funny to say, look, Jaden Daniels is playing better than Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts in the playoffs so far, that he's magic, that he's great, that he's doing all this stuff in the 4th quarter, yada, 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 and then be like he's the 4th best player right now in just this game. I don't know. He might be the 4th best player in the entire NFL, you know, all the teams that are in the playoffs right now. And if anything, you maybe make the argument that he's even higher than that. Because you're going to have like Mahomes, Allen, Jayden. So it's like, I don't know. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jaden Daniels being the 4th best player in this game? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.